journey in life. So, first and foremost, a happy Independence Day. Wrong or right, but we say that America is leading the freedom movement. We also say we are leaders of the free world. But fact is that Eastern wisdom is the leader of the free world. It results into total freedom. Whether you believe it or you don't believe. And what is that freedom? That freedom is freedom from suffering, end of suffering. How come this end of suffering is there? Because now I know the real self. Now I know the car, I know the house. No, there is a difference. I know the car remains separate from me. I know the house remains separate from me. But when I know the real self, I am the real self. I am the real self. Are you getting it? That's a basic and fundamental difference. I am the real self. And when I am the real self, where is the suffering? Then this I is never attached to this body, mind, breath, intellect, ego. It uses them as its instrument. Same question, repeat, I will repeat. Did you practice japa in the last 2 or 3 days since our last session? Whenever you remember. Oh, that guy last week, he said that I do the practice 10, 15 times. So it's a good statement, but it means I forget 10 times, but I remember 10 times. That is really good. I forgot 10 times, and that's how I relive. Oh, let me do it. Let me do it. So find out, don't answer me rightly right away, but think how many times you applied the wisdom daily in your life. We are slowly moving to the 40 steps to this journey, and every step is applied step. And once you follow these steps, then you see realization is not too far. I told you, I know you, you still remain separate from me. But when I know the real self, I am the real self. You have to contemplate on this statement again and again and again. But because the mind is impure, because the mind lives in ignorance, because the mind continues to be objective, and that is why we miss. Real self follows me in my restroom, on a cup of tea, on a vodka also, in my relationship also, in driving also, everywhere that real self, because that is why we say that real self is all pervading. But I miss it. I miss it. Without that real self, this body cannot exist. Body will be the dead body. You know, when someone dies, we say the body has come. But when I knock the door and you say, you have come, we don't say that the body has come. Do you see? Do you see that in our language also we say? There is a Rumi of India, I call him a Rumi of India. Pay attention to it. Rumi of India. Kabir. What he says. And just reflect on this two pieces of the poem. In water, the fish is thirsty. In an ocean, the fish is thirsty. In a pond, the fish is thirsty. Hearing this, I laugh. Hearing this, I laugh. In water, fish is thirsty. I am the real self, but I still don't know. That is the essence. That is the meaning. Think. And think. Think. Can you imagine the way he conveyed this message to all of us? Further, he says, roaming, and we, at least, the existence of the fish is nothing but the water, and still the fish is thirsty. And then he says, we human beings roaming in water, land, and sea, roaming in water, land, and sea, that real self follows us everywhere. Roaming in water, land, and sea, it means we are constantly doing all the work and actions in our daily life to secure peace and happiness, and the peace and happiness evades us. The heart wanders in sadness. The heart wanders in sadness. In water, the fish is thirsty. Imagine you are a fish and you are in a pond. And then you are saying that, I'm thirsty. Where is the water? And that is why we say, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Moving from ignorance to wisdom. It is already available to us. It is everywhere, but still, I don't realize. Real self, that is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom, and I still wander in sadness. Where is that peace and happiness? Where is that peace and happiness? Love and wisdom. Roaming in water, land. We go everywhere. We change our job. We marry and we divorce. We buy something to be happy. Roaming. Where are you getting it? You get a sense of it. This poet and a great master who broke away all the traditions and rituals. His message is to know. Without self-knowledge, man wanders. Without self-knowledge, man wanders. You go to Makkah, you go to what is known as, where Pope lives, Vatican City, you go to different temples. It will not work. It will not work. Mm-hmm. In water, the fish is thirsty. So imagine that I am the water, I'm still thirsty. The entire journey of Eastern wisdom, he summarized. Think, contemplate, reflect on this. The water is all around. Fish takes birth in water, grows in water, evolves in water, sheds his waste in the water. Still the fish is thirsty. So think the entire world is nothing but an ocean. The universe is an ocean in which I'm living. And I'm searching that real self is the entire universe and cosmos together. And we are searching peace and happiness. fish is still thirsty. We are that fish which is thirsty, and that is why the master gave us a different set of principles. Then he says, oh, if you do not understand, so let us do Mangalacharan. Then you have to understand the four groups. The world is suffering, and when the world is suffering, then what should I do? Then you follow the satsang. The remedy is constant listening and learning from a teacher. I told you, my master told me, once a seeker, always a seeker. So what happens? Once you are a seeker, you are able to drop those actions, those thoughts from your mind. Then what is left? What you have to do the entire day? Pick up one text, read it and contemplate and reflect. You follow your profession. And you ultimately, internally, you are doing the japa. But you said, it is available here. The fish is thirsty in the water. Because I have a deeper level of ignorance. That's why I'm not able to understand it. No, but I have a higher IQ. The higher IQ will not work. Eastern wisdom wants to understand the objective reality and the subjective reality. Science focuses only on the objective reality. And that is why these tips, these small principles and practices which helps us to, so by listening and learning, contemplation and reflection, one day there is a spark from inside in the intellect. Oh, that intellect says, yes, here it is. Then we discover, yes, this is what all the masters are saying. But in the beginning, we have third step I have told you. The word is suffering. 9 steps I have told you. Remedy is the satsang, listening, learning, practices, contemplation, reflection. So by the satsang only, by listening and learning from the teacher, you get rid of the detachment. You enter into the state of dispassion. You bring an end to your sorrow and the suffering. Means you are purifying the mind. Once you purify the mind, the realization is awaiting you. Different experiences. We get absorbed into calmness and peace within. And we miss there. Fish is thirsty in the water. So the intellect should reflect here that without any object, thing, situation, relationship, I am in peace. From where this peace and the joy has come. To allow the mind to sit in meditation for long hours. And the fourth I said, the self-remembering, remember, revise, repeat, recall. And that is what the japa is. Before that, we discussed pranayama, pratyahara, viveka, discernment, and fourth one is the japa and meditation. So this japa will take you to a deeper state of meditation. That is why I'm stressing that. Remember, my friends, intellect. You can say the intellect. You can say it is a free will. You can say it is a self-awareness. Who am I? So someone says I'm Girish. Name. Other will say you are a teacher. Or third, if my honey comes, she will say, you are my husband. You see the power of self-awareness? Now let us bring the dog. Dog, do you see me? Yes, I see you. do they discern that I'm a husband, my name in the form, and I'm my gender? No. No living being has this ability. No living being. We have this ability. We don't use it. Why we don't use it? My husband is crazy. By the way, I tell you, all husbands are crazy. Only the women are the best. No, I'm just. Do you see that the art of the self-awareness? Mosquito. Mosquito says that you are my food. I don't know anything else. Think. Think. The Master gave hundreds of examples in the metaphor to understand, to bring your mind back that what is this self-awareness? So you have given me a label of name and the form and the gender and the relationship. I'm none of them. I'm beyond that. But why I force myself that I am one of them and I am all of them? Can you figure out? Because of attachment, because of identification. I lose my self-awareness. See, I'm just putting everything logical. I have this sense of identification, attachment. Today is Independence Day, happy Independence Day. So have that sense of independence. You are free from all these identifications. Also, from today, I will no longer remain the wife internally at the mental and the emotional level. Don't start fighting with your honey. Internally. Why internally? Because if I identify myself constantly that I am the honey, for example, then I will miss what I am. I'm the real self. So outside, yes, I'm honey. Inside, I'm none of them. But why? Why mind says? Because I identify with themselves. Identification means that I'm constantly thinking about it. I'm constantly thinking because of the strong likes and dislikes. It results into attachment. Attachment results into desire, and desire is seeking happiness outside. So seeking happiness outside, I will perform lot of karma, lot of actions. Honey, please, I'm sorry. Or honey, you are wrong. So I have two format of actions. I have less money. Oh no, I have more money. I look beautiful or I don't look it. You see the actions, multitude of actions throughout the day from waking state until we sleep, and we forget the real self. Fish is thirsty. In an ocean, the fish is thirsty. In a pond, the fish is thirsty. So, do you see the cover? Wailing of all our actions, wailing of our thoughts, the wailing of our attachment, the wailing of our covering. Look at it. No one is responsible for that wailing. I am. Today is Happy Independence Day, so I thought let us have the higher principles of independence, internal independence, internal freedom. Yesterday I have a session. So what you will do in independence? No, I will invite a couple of my friends and then we will have a vodka. That is why I talked about it. I said, wonderful. Okay, are you joining me? No, I said, no, I'm not joining. I'm very happy with my own vodka. I don't even think. This is what I call the self-awareness. So by the contemplation and reflection, you recognize, you remove the veil. And when you remove the veil, So you see that there are many veils, there are many coverings, there are many curtains over the real self. So our master says you should first think that you should know about your intellect. You should have a righteous intellect that defines do, don't, do's and don'ts. Righteous intellect, do's and don'ts. Or we can explain what is right and good for me and for everyone. I should do it. I should speed the car. No. It should be good for me. It should be good for others who are driving. Simple. But by japa, you will remember these things. Your mind will move there. It will cultivate the right intellect. So we don't think about it. Oh, well, it seems to be a philosophical. No, it's not philosophical. It's very pragmatic, very practical. At least once you remember this beer guy, no, I have not to speed, you gain self-awareness. Our goal is to have first the self-awareness, then the righteous intellect. From the self-awareness, we move to the dispassion intellect. Oh, let me work. Let me do all my activities as a Hollywood actor. Oh, you're my honey. Yes, you're my honey. I'm a professional. Yes, I'm a professional. But internally, Hollywood actor, then means what? It is a dispassion intellect. You separate all your actions, thought, speech, and feeling and emotions from what you are doing outside. Yes, continue to do it. Don't change anything. Let the change come from inside. That is what the second type of the intellect is, the dispassion intellect. Third intellect. Once that you have a self-awareness, you have a righteous intellect, you have a dispassion intellect. Now what happens to this intellect? The heart goes there in its purest form. You recognize it is unconditional love. First time you recognize. What is unconditional love? You never blame and complain and react to any situation outside in the world. Because you are full of love. Oh, this situation, this person, this relationship is good for me. It is evolving me. It is helping me. You respond in relationship. So what happens? The love intellect takes the birth. And that love is a manifestation from the real self. And then you go to the fourth type of intellect, the real self-intellect. What the intellect says, I'm the real self. And you mean it. Normally we say I'm the real self, but the next moment I'm the body. So that self-awareness goes to the peak. And from there, the journey of higher meditation begins. Journey of the higher meditation begins. I'm still focused on Happy Independence Day outside and Happy Independence Day inside also. Not only outside. Our Independence Day today should become independence forever. That is what happened. We remind ourselves the fourth principle. Every 4th of July we remember. It is there. So do you still remember the 4 principles, 4 groups I discussed? Word is suffering, remedy is the satsang, realization and experiences, and the 4th one is reminder. How long I have to remind until the ignorance is gone. So what will happen when the ignorance is gone? You need not to remember. You know you are the real self. Finished. And that is why our Master Krishna defines that what it takes to succeed in a higher meditation, you recognize the world is suffering because of the mind, selfishness, and ego. Pick up righteous intellect, dispassion intellect, love intellect. What is the remedy? Satsang. Then he says, Yatinam Yat Chetasam. So he uses a different word. If you like that, you can take it. I have taken satsang, and Krishna says it is a self-discipline, self-awareness to self-discipline. Lack of self-awareness to self-discipline. It will backfire. Why it will backfire? Do you know? No, I tried very hard, but I don't succeed. I am not able to control the mind. So it's a lack of awareness. You understand clearly why you are doing it, why you want to reach to the righteous intellect and dispassion intellect. If it is not there, your mind is constantly working with attachment inside, and you are doing meditation and you say, no, I did not succeed. You are responsible. Not possible. That is the message. Intellectual clarity. What is the intellectual clarity? The intellect knows by understanding that real self is all pervading. Fish is thirsty in an ocean, the fish is thirsty in a pond. Do you see that? What a great poet, great master. In American language and expression, he was an illicit son, so he was put into the basket and flown into the river. We are talking of, no, I don't have those conditions now to reach to that state. So I'm talking of his conditions. Kavi, great poet, great mystic, great master. So he was put into the basket, flown into the river, and that basket reaches to the bank, and the weaver couple who weaves the clothes opened the basket and found this boy. So we say that he is the son of a weaver. We don't know whose son he is. Abject poverty. What I want to convey, no situation, no condition, no circumstances, no relationship can stop you to find that real self. Fish is thirsty in the water. So when I pay more attention to my outer situations, I don't see that. My intellect, my self-awareness does not see, does not understand. That is what the Master is saying in the third line of this verse. Abhito Brahma Nirvanam. Oh, don't you know that the real self, the water is here, all around, inside me. I took birth in the real self. I'm growing into the real self. I have a lot of challenges in the real self. I have a lot of opportunities in the real self. By chance, you found this beard guy in the real self only. And you committed to listening, and you are committed to practice. By chance, everything. I'm talking of higher something, because of Happy Independence Day. Power to hold on to the real self. So why we need to get rid of the attachment and duality, and why we talk about all these garbage stuff, that you are the real self, you are not the husband, wife, you are not the body, mind, breath, intellect, and ego. So at least for a moment, you recognize, you become aware, self-awareness. You become aware what? You become aware. This is the entire objective reality, and on the other side, there is a real self. So the intellect holds on to the real self in times of meditation, in hours of meditation, in hours of the japa, and you reach there. Awakening takes place. We discussed, last couple of weeks, the two more verses, and that is what I explained to you. So the Krishna says, shutting out all the external sense contexts. Otherwise, the fish will remain thirsty. I'm just, translating that. Fixing the gaze between the eyebrows. Oh, I will discuss about the first, second, and the third eye. So this is the third eye, means that my level of self-awareness has gone up, supported by 4 types of intellect. So I get the 4 powers of the intellect. And with that 4 powers of the intellect, I now remember, don't forget that everywhere I'm the real self. So I need not to be thirsty. I see the spark. I'm a great seeker now. Equalizing the inward and the outward breath is a symbolic metaphor. Oh, so I experience there is no attachment and detachment with me. So I don't have any binding desire which is seeking happiness outside. And then I continue to live within while working outside in the world. And then what happens? Beautiful phrase, Krishna. Krishna uses a different word. You allow the object to merge into the senses, sense merges into the mind, mind merges into the intellect, intellect merges into the ego, ego merges into the real self. I know the real self. What is that state? It is freedom from free from the binding desire. What is freedom from the binding desire? It is Independence Day. It is our Independence Day inside. So let us celebrate our Independence Day. I'll explain you next week. I can summarize this, the whole process, in modern language. And that is what I say, the 5E. I just gave you an idea, and then we will talk about it. You think about it. 5E. First is engagement. Engagement of whom? The self-awareness or the intellect. Once you engage, you educate. Second E. You educate, you find the changes. So when you find the changes, oh, if I do the practice, I'm totally relaxed. Yesterday I gave to that one Indian woman, I gave her simple practice of 4-step relaxation. She has a very high hypertension. She says, I feel very good. I feel relaxed. You are empowering. Third E is empowerment. So I empower the mind. Mind, don't live into the stress. Empower yourself. You can be in peace and happiness, independent of anything outside. Independence Day. Then the process of meditation is an evolution of our mind. Simply think, evolution of your mind and intellect. So when you evolve and reach to a point of saturation, it is enlightenment. So we will talk about it in in detail about these 5 E. But for now, close your eyes. Eyes are closed and be place, position and place, position and posture. Check again one after the other. You are aware of that. You are aware of the space all around your body. Check the position of the body. Check the posture. Be comfortable. So you are already comfortable and you are carefree. Recheck and check. Who checks? Your self awareness, or I would say free will, or I can say simply your intellect. The mind will take you away. So that is why even though they are the same, functionally they are different. And then you are carefree also. And do you remember what is the next? You are introducing the intellect to move to the righteous intellect and have a discussion. How? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Check your mind is very soft, gentle. It becomes like a melted butter. And it perceives that, what it perceives, the happiness is the essential nature of every being, including me. Is it pointing to the real self? The intellect is not aware of that fact. On an Independence Day, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Peace for all. Same thing. You see, is it your righteous intellect and dispassion is intellect is pointing you that the peace is the essential nature of everyone? Will you fight with anyone? Do you have any condition with anyone living in the world? No. So when it becomes unconditional. Unconditional. So what happens in the state of unconditional mind? Only the love will manifest. The love intellect is there. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness. And when you see, look yourself, a sense of wholeness. You see, in Christian, we talk about holiness, wholeness, all Holy Spirit. All comes from this idea. Wholeness. I am whole. Wow, real self is whole. I am whole means the real self is whole. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. Now you see, we have not done any practice. We elevated the self-awareness, and now look at the world outside. Why we look at the world outside? So that you check. where you check, the sense of dispassion is there. I'm not concerned about anything. And then look at the space just around your body. Look at the body. We are just taking a horizontal movement. Then you become aware of the breath. That also, only this step will become a great meditation practice. So even when you are not able to do the japa, you just sit and make a horizontal movement. Only this step can become, only this step can become a great meditation. So you just move. And then what about the, yeah, yes, I'm aware of the breath. And I'm also aware that I moved horizontally from the world outside the space and the body and then the breath. Oh, let us move little deeper. Thought, emotions, sensations, dispassion, intellect. Do you remember? Okay, then move little further. I-ness is there. Yes, I-ness, let it be there. Oh, I am within. I am within. Who says I am within? When this I get rid of any association with the object of the word outside, what happens? There is a natural spark. I'm using the word spark. The spark of that consciousness is seeing an experience. A spark, the spark of a flame. You see, that is independent of everything. So that is where we have to land with the horizontal movement. So I have added two steps, which is a passive step in the stage 1. And in the stage 2, I say, casually I'm saying, look inside the forehead in the space. Symbolically, you are paying your attention on the third eye, so to say. But it is guided by the knowledge and understanding. You start dropping Om Shanti mentally in that state when the mind living within, horizontally, it has reached to its climax. Start breathing, quick and short breath through both the nostrils. Start doing, yes, and see what happens. You just continue breathing. And I know, you know the endurance. Endurance lives in the intellect. Craziness lives in the mind. That is why we say the mind is impure. So, well, any form of craziness in the form, oh, I cannot do it, I feel exhausted. No, you let the intellect bring the endurance and you do it. It is going to help you in your daily life also once you recognize that level of endurance in the intellect. Or, can I say, through your self awareness? And if you don't recognize the fish is thirsty in the water, fish is thirsty in an ocean, fish is thirsty in a pond. Continue breathing unabated in the state of the stillness in the body. Shanti continues gently, and you are doing. And so endurance, so when you repeat that level of endurance, you will experience there is a joy of doing. Many of you have shared, I did not find any challenge. It was rhythmic, it was constant, and I could have done for a longer period. It's a joy of doing. It can happen in one session, it cannot happen in 100 sessions. Only you can recognize, your intellect can recognize if you are doing it rightly, correctly, or breathing Om Shanti, stillness in the body, mind is living within, or I specifically say horizontally to make it clear. Continue breathing Om Shanti mantra, stillness in the body, and we are aware that we already moved the mind horizontally deeper within. We're just clearing the path, so to say. Otherwise, the fish is thirsty in an ocean. Hearing this, I laugh. So our master is laughing at our ignorance. And now stop this breathing and the mantra. Bring your awareness on the flow of the breath. Do you see? I confirm to the teachings of the Master in this meditation. So just be aware of the flow of the breath. In that flow, you are aware of the flow of the breath that seems equal, and you have a sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body. Deeper inside, you explore the calmness and quietness. You know what we say, now it is ready to fly. And in that state, I will jump is to the stage number 3. I'm skipping one step today. Then you 16 segments and drop Om Shanti. You have already created a condition. All the senses are living in the mind. You are not touching, but still you are touching. You touch, but still you don't touch. You see, but still you don't see through the eyes. You hear, still you don't hear through your ears. That is the meaning. All the senses are living in the mind and you're dropping Om Shanti. What happens? The prana becomes highly active. The prana takes the role of all these sense organs, and that is why we start experiencing a tremendous vibes or energy sensations on these 16 segments, or a very, I would say, the tremendous calmness, melting, as if these fingers have melted away. Continue. I told you, don't go mechanically. It may be Om Shanti, it may be Om Shanti, but mentally and non verbally, depending on the state of the mind you have today. Mind mixed with the pure emotion, it will say Om Shanti. Even in saying one Shanti, it feels it's kind of an absorption. At the same time, if the intellect is very active, then you drop Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So there is a string. You continue to create that movement. So we need not to worry. We need to follow. And now leave this. Move the mind inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the triangle. Moving the mind on a triangle, dropping Om Shanti, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Why we do it? We want to see mind is syncing with this movement of clockwise and anti-clockwise movement. and you see it is so easy for you to do it. That is the right time to push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, saying mentally, as if you're saying very long mentally, and it is pushing the mind so deep, and there you can find mind seemingly stops, objective reality comes to an end. That is the meaning. And you say Shanti, and after that you are in a state of self absorption. That is, and you stay there. Even saying staying there is abusing this meditation. You're already absorbed. Why to say stay there? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences now. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, sir. Thank you. Great meditation, great lesson. I always find it interesting that we sometimes talk about things that you and I didn't discuss, but we're actually talking about it. I woke up today and I was like, oh, 4th of July. I said, now if we just have self-freedom, I don't care about anything else. And that was your topic. David always talks about the tool chest, the different things that you've provided us over the years. And I just want to say that the japa is my tool and my go-to on a daily basis. And it has had a profound effect on every aspect of my life. And I thank you for that. It's almost like a gift. Today's meditation was extremely deep. I had intermittent moments of the breathing. I'm going to say it was interrupted, but it was interrupted by nothing. I found myself sitting in my heart center, and then realized that's not. I'm supposed to be breathing, and not that I'm saying I'm supposed to be breathing, but yeah. You get it. So then I went back to the breathing, and then I was drawn back to the heart center. And then when you started the japa, again, it was the same thing. I was japa, heart center, back to the japa. And the thing that really got me was when we were in the heart center, I could actually feel the vibrations of the 16 parts of my fingers saying, like, come back to me here. And I'm supposed to be in my heart. And so that was what was going on. And in all senses, it was just fantastic. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful explanation. We learn from everyone's experiences. One thing that Stephen is always doing discernment. And if you do a very constant discernment, then japa will become such a great step towards your evolution. Because of the discernment, your intellect reminds you, I have to do it all the day. I have to do all the time. Oh, when I forget. Let me remind myself. So those people who fail to do it, it is because of the lack of the discernment. And yes, Stephen, it is very clear. If you just have an awareness of the lesson is coming today, and even if you sit for a few minutes, this is the lesson is going to, this is what happened last week, so let me see what is going to come today. You will get a feel of it. You will get a feel of it. It's not a big deal in the higher journey of meditation. In America, we make small things very big, sometimes. Not always, but we small. I can read your mind. It's not a big deal. If I have a face like this, you have already read my mind. So what a big deal. So we make it so big. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. My meditation was very calm and peaceful and comfortable, and the breathing was seamless and pretty easy to do, and I can say it was joyful at the end. The rest of the practice was absorbed but conscious at all times, and at the end it was just dark space with some sparks of thoughts that did not disturb. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, just the infinite space. Even if we hold on to that space through the intellect, it will take us to the higher level. Beautiful sharing. How are you, Christina?
I'm well, thank you. Between last session and this session, I was reminded in high school, we do in the U.S. quotes underneath your picture. And it was, the quote I picked was, "Within yourself lies everything you could ever dream of being." And still the external searching for all those years, and just remembering I'd met up with you many years ago and then lost contact, and still the external searching. And it's just, I'm reminded of how important it is to keep regular practice and learning going.
Yes, yes. I know we met almost 20 years ago, and then you returned again. Returning is always very healthy, welcoming, because your mind still is searching something, but we were searching outside, and that is what I discussed in detail today. And ultimately we find, oh, this is the way I can find myself. Beautiful. Thank you, Christina. How are you? Did you get the notice of seminar?
No.
Okay. So how are you, Barbara? I'll send you today.
I'm very good, thank you. My meditation was very peaceful. When I entered the cave of my heart, my body felt very heavy, but my mind felt very light and very free.
Very free. Beautiful. Yeah, because that is why it relieves the burden from the mind and the heart and the emotions. And there is a sense of emotional poise. Beautifully said. How are you, my friend Terry?
I like exploring the silence.
Yes.
It's easier for me in the silence.
Good.
To contemplate the inner space, and in the beginning I had a lot of resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Yes. You rightly said, whether you want to contemplate in the space or the silence, more or less it is the same thing. One thing is very clear: when the mind says I want to explore in the silence, obviously the mind is living within, specifically horizontally. So that's a good way to put it. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, mind was calm, practice was peaceful. All this understanding that I'm having, it's helped me to change myself. It's like it also reminding me that the places I have to change, and then it also reminding me that where I have changed. So I can say that only when I'm aware I can change, and I'm doing it because I am doing it for myself. So it's helped me to lose one habit which I don't want, and it's helped me like keeping me peaceful and happy.
Beautiful. What he is saying that, when I say I am in stress, it is the same self-awareness which says I am in stress. Now, when the same I with the self-awareness reminds you that you are of the nature of peace and happiness, so there is a shift of identification from the stress to the peace, and it hardly takes fraction of a second if we have done lot of discernment and we know the power of dispassion. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर बहुत पीसफुल था सर। एक वो हो जाता है कि कभी ओम शांति करते हुए इनहेल करते हुए ओम है और शांति एक्सहेल करते हुए होता है, तो वो ठीक है।
In the beginning, what will happen for some of you, your mind tries to dominate in a different way. So what she is saying that while doing Om Shanti, her mind says Om during inhalation and Shanti during exhalation. So it's a kind of a domination of the, let the mind dominate. No worries, because after all, you are doing Om Shanti. You are not going for any craving and attachment. It will take your mind. So you are silently working on the mind. It's good. So we have to understand very clearly there. Mind is not going for a vodka. Mind is going for Om Shanti. So you have to say hello to our Sasha. He is a great teacher. He lives in Ukraine. Who is behind Dennis. So he's a great teacher. I met him perhaps in 2001, and since then we have been together. So thank you. That is all for today. Happy Independence Day again.